Look. I see Mr. Risner. He is with us. How you doing, sir?
Nigel is in the room.
He is. Now, is Andy going to reappear, I hope? I think the people are really pleased, actually, Nigel, because I've been wittering on for the last however long, and they're probably like, thank goodness Nigel has turned up to save them from me.
Well, see, the problem is, when you have a monkey like me that isn't given simple instructions, and all I wanted was one button, and I was like, and I only signed on 19 times, and nobody loved me and wanted me in.
In Nigel's defence, guest, we've been struggling in the background trying to get this sorted, and for some reason, it didn't recognise Nigel as a panellist, so he kept appearing as a delegate and not as a panellist, which wouldn't have been the best of seminars because he'd have been purely there as a listener and not a contributor. But we got sorted,
yeah,
which is fine.
And thank goodness, I can now rest because I thought
no. Now the work really starts between Chris and Andy. Okay, now the work really starts. Okay,
I was going to say I saw him treading water in the background. We've kept people waiting. Let's just do a very quick intro so you know who we've got tonight, and we'll get cracking. So. Our guest tonight is Nigel Risner. Nigel's been here before. If you listened to him before, you know what you're in for. If you're not, you're in for a treat. He's the chief zookeeper, a professional speaker who turns limited people limitless. He's an author of numerous books, including It's a Zoo Around Here, The New Rules for Better Communication. The special thing about tonight is Nigel's also got an offer for everyone who's joined this evening. And his life-changing personality assessment tool, instead of being £99, is an absolute steal at £25. There's a link in the chat on how to redeem the offer. It's dead easy. Just drop us an email, quote the code, and we'll take care of the rest for you. You're in for a treat. I recommend you get like a pen and a pad to hand to take down the notes. It's going to be good fun. So over to you, Nigel.
And he's a jolly nice chap as well, isn't he?
Of course,
that's very kind of you.
Of course,
here's a quick question, which hopefully you'll be able to answer, and hopefully the people listening can just do one bit of work for me. How many people have heard me before? Do we know? Yeah, I know the two of you have because we've worked for 20 years together.
All right, sorry. Let's just see. The questions is open. The chat's open. So we've got.
Anybody heard Nigel speak before?
Oh, it looks like you might have a new audience, Nigel.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh no, we've got a couple of yeses coming.
Okay.
So we've got some that have, some that haven't.
Okay, so I want to do a few things that are a bit weird, and I want to do a few things that I always do. So, would you agree, for the two of you, that our job in life is to inspire and empower not only our staff but our patients too? Would you agree?
Yes.
Yep.
Would you agree that there are times where we have a CBA moment?
Yep.
Would that be the can't be asked?
Exactly right. Now, there's a problem because sometimes as principals, we'll have that issue, and sometimes receptionists or hygienists or associate practice managers can also have that issue. The problem is, and this is a really serious question, and I used to do this with my father a lot. My father was an optician for 45 years. He was one of the very first contact lens practitioners. His partner specialised in astigmatism. So I know the optical world very well. As you know, I've done a lot of dentist conferences all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
You really know the value of a do you know the value of a client, a patient? Do you really know the value of a patient? And I'll put money on if I ask the two of you to give me a lifetime value, you won't get it right.
Yeah.
Now, so I'll use the next example. My wife goes to a hairdresser every Saturday for a blow dry, and every 3 weeks she'll be really annoyed to hear this, for her colour, and every 5 weeks there's something else. We worked out she has spent, with the same hairdressers in Bushy or Mill Hill, nearly £350,000.
Wow.
Now, that includes the rest of my family and other people that she's spoken to. Now, I want you to visualize that the next patient who walks in is a potential £250,000 of pure cash. How do you think you might treat that person? And now how might you treat the member of staff who's going to be handling that person? Because the tragedy is, I walk in and I'm 62 and I can't be asked to go to the dentist. I hate the hygienist. etc., etc. But I've got a very big mouth. I know it's hard to believe. When the receptionist doesn't look up, and when the receptionist doesn't rebook me before I leave, because I'm not over gushing about the treatment and I can hardly talk, what cost is that to the average practice?
Mm.
And I'm not going to silence here, but I am, because the staff are treated by the boss. The boss can't be asked. The boss is busy. The boss has got things to do. The principal or the senior hygienist. But you're talking about £250,000. Now, about 7 or 8 years ago, I was in Boston in America, and I was working with a cancer. Start again. I was working with a company that was producing a new cancer drug, and it was costing us $600,000 a week in marketing and to run our team every single week. And we asked, this is going to sound strange, we asked the bank to give me $600,000 in cash, and we put it at the end of the table, and we said every Friday we just throw it in the bin, and that's money gone. Now, I want you as a practice to think about that every patient that you piss off, that you are late for, that you don't follow on, is a potential £250,000. Now, if you can afford that, you shouldn't be on this seminar. You should be talking to us. Because I'm telling you now, those patients that you've got waiting in reception who are nervous, who might be coming in with a child, who might be 2 minutes late, you have to treat them like my friend Jeff Ram would call, like celebrities. But we don't, because we're very busy and we think we're invincible. So here's the question. Are there certain clients, patients you've got that you need to inspire or fire? Do you have members of your team you need to inspire or fire? I mean, you'll know this, Chris and Andy. Have you ever had a member of the team in your 20 years of working that you know was an absolute knob?
Yep.
They're no longer with us.
But yeah, but be really honest, how long did you keep them before you had the courage to get rid of them?
Probably too long. It was probably months when it should have been days or weeks.
We
And-
got we got better and got rid of them
Yes.
very quickly. Yeah.
But here's the point. Every day you have what I call a psychic vampire or an internal terrorist working in your practice, you are just as responsible. So everyone who's listening right now, I want you to do an exercise in your practice called trust versus like. Now, I don't know if I've shared this with you, Andy, before. That, Andy, I trust you, and I trust this webinar is going to go out and it's going to be brilliant. I don't know if I like you, okay? But
Fair
that's
enough. Lots of people don't. That's fine.
no, but you see, it doesn't really matter whether I like you. What I've got to be able to do is trust you to work to make me look professional.
Yep.
Next week, next month, I might like you and you'll come to my Friday night Sabbath dinner and you'll be part of the family. But I don't know if I'm doing that this week because I don't know how much I like you. But in order for me to do this webinar, I need to trust you because my reputation is going out to the wide world, or whatever the phrase is. It's going out to the world because we don't know who's listening today and when it's going to get replayed, etc. So I don't want to look ridiculous. So I need to trust the two of you. And if I like you, that is a bonus. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You trust me to talk to your people, and you might like me or you may not, but you know I'm going to add value to your participants. Now look at a dental practice. There are certain staff in practices who've been there for way too long, who aren't adding value. And whenever there's a complaint, I love this line, oh, you must have been talking to Jane. They even know who the problem is. Oh, yeah, she's always like that. She's a bit moody. He's not very nice. Well, I'm afraid to say in today's world, hire really nice people and train them well. Don't hire professionals who are great at the job who aren't nice, because you will lose patience. Now, we have a friend and who's done a lot of work with, it's going to sound weird here, with the Jamaican running team. Okay? Now, you will have probably heard of a guy called Usain Bolt.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was not the fastest guy when he joined the club, but he had the most potential. So when you're looking at your staff, I want you to start thinking about performance versus potential. Do you want great performers or do you want people with high potential? Because people who are great at performance, that's their level. That's their level. It's a bit like, and I'm going to say this, and I know him and I've worked with him, with Gareth Southgate. He was phenomenal for the English football team, but he's reached his level. I don't think he should have left, by the way, but he's reached his level.
Mm.
We now need another manager who's not a great performer, but who's got great potential to take the club, the country to another level. There are a lot of performers out there, but if we want someone to lead England in its football team, you need someone with great potential. There's lots of managers doing a good job right now. Gareth Southgate was doing a good job because he got to 2 finals and a semi-final.
Oh, phenomenal! Yeah.
Yes, but he didn't quite finish the job. So everyone said he's not good. He was
Yeah.
phenomenal, and I worked with him and Olympic coaches 7, 8 years ago before 2 of the different Olympics. I specialize in coaching and high performance coaches. So I'm working with coaches to coach phenomenal people. Now I'm working with dentists. And what I'm saying to you all is, please look at your team tomorrow and write a list of trust versus like. And anyone on that list that you don't trust, you should be sending to your biggest competitor with £5,000 cash and let them be a terrorist somewhere else. Because if you don't trust them, you're dealing with £250,000 patients. And worse is for me, because I've got a big mouth. And if I have a great deal for if I have a great service for my dentist, and you'll know this, I don't tell that many people. But if I have shite service, I'm telling the world. And I just came back, in case you might think, oh, he's got a bit of a colour. I just came back from Mallorca for 3 days. My flight was delayed on Sunday. It was cancelled for the whole day. And I then had to wait till Monday night to fly home. We were so late, we couldn't go into City Airport. We flew into Stansted Airport, but my car was at City Airport.
But the funny thing is, Nigel, I already know you flew with BA because you posted on Facebook about it. So I'm one of the hundreds of people that have seen you absolutely lambasting BA for their shite service.
And that's my point. But when I have a great flight, I don't tell anybody because that's expected. I pay BA £300, £400, £500 a flight. I'm afraid I turn left on planes, so apologies. That's because I'm very good. So I pay money to sit on 1A, and when they arrive on time, that was their job. That was not exceptional. I paid X amount of money to take me somewhere. So when I go to a dentist and they cap my tooth and they put a filling in, that was what I'm paying them for.
Yeah.
When they keep me waiting and then it falls out and I've got to go back, but I can't get an appointment, and they tell me the earliest appointment is X, then I go online. Because the tragedy is today, social media is killing your business. Because if you get great service, we don't want to show off and tell lots of people in case we can't get an appointment with their dentist or optician. But if we get crap service, we're telling the world. We used to have there used to be something on a Saturday night, and it was called the Restaurant Club. Some people might be on it on Facebook, but that was my Saturday night porn. Okay, I'm a sad person, okay? I would love to see people ripping into restaurants, but they didn't tell you good news. They just told you the bad stuff. So I want everyone to understand, every patient that leaves your practice tomorrow is likely to be putting on a review, but it won't be great reviews. And those people who say they've got 50 million Trustpilot likes and all the other stuff, that's a peanuts compared to the negative stuff that could be out there. So let me go one stage further. Every patient that comes in your practice has to be viewed as a different animal. So we're going to talk about profiling just for a minute or two, and then you'll tell them about the profiling tool that we've got for people. Every patient is a different animal. Every member of staff is a different animal. But do you know what we're doing? We're treating them all the same. And some of you say, no, we offer very different services for different people. Not when you're under pressure, you don't. Because let me tell you, when I was on my plane at 11:40 Monday night, and then I had to get a taxi from Stansted to City Airport, I was not a happy camper.
No,
I was not happy. And I knew I was turning into what one of my animals goes into to another. So I'm a classic monkey. I'm playful, I'm energetic, I'm lively, I've got lots of energy. And what animal do you think I turned into, Andy?
I imagine a fairly short-tempered, furious, wanting to get things done. So
Yeah, I turned into a hyena. Okay.
Ah,
And I was absolutely aggressive to the captain, to the steward, and I knew I was doing it.
mm.
And I've written a book about it, and I've written a book about dealing with your emotions, and it was too late. I turned. You
You've
then
already gone down
saw,
that path.
yeah, and then you saw the stuff on Facebook, on X, and on Twitter, and all the other stuff because I was so livid.
Mm.
If that had been my dentist, though, it would have been going out to high net worth people who can afford the type of things that I do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But we have to be really careful that when you do a phenomenal job, people don't care. That's what they're paying you for. And what we think is how lucky we are that we squeezed you in, that we sorted out your tooth.
True.
What we're paying you for.
Yeah. It's a bit like with your staff, isn't it? When you expect them to do a job, and that's what they're supposed to do, is that job, and therefore they've done that job. But then they're like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, but Chris, but see, now let me just share something. When I do a great job, I need, and if anyone's watching this as against hearing it, I need chocolate, I need Diet Coke, I need to be recognized in my style.
Yeah.
And you probably know I always talk about it. And it's not about the chocolate and Diet Coke. I want to be recognized for the work that I do in the style of me. What we
Yeah.
talk a lot about in profiling is that if you've got staff who are happy, who are performing well, who are their lives at home are well, they'll be phenomenal employees. But when staff turn, there's either something going on at home or they're not being loved at work. And if you really looked at the way the two of you work with your team, how often do you physically show love for your staff? Now, some people go, that may be inappropriate. So let me refine it for you. Andy, you sending me the chocolate, which you did, is love to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sending me Bourneville chocolate would be hate to me. Sending me a bottle of champagne of the highest order would be hate to me because it means you've been to a conference, someone's given you a bottle of champagne, you're re-gifting it to me, thinking I should be happy. And we do this a lot. We give the wrong gifts and acknowledgement to the wrong people.
Yeah.
You need to acknowledge people in their state. Remember that phrase, do unto others they do unto themselves. No, do unto others as they would do unto themselves. So I need love and attention, I need fun and I need humor. I don't want lots of detail. But you've got principal dentists who want certain things. They want status, they want a car park, they want a magazine in Dental Weekly. They want to be able to go to a conference and be on a panel with their name in a lanyard saying super special VIP. And you know those people when you go to dental conferences who've got the lanyards with 19 different things on there. Then you've got the technical hygienists and some of the principal dentists who may need lots of information. They may need lots of letters. They may need a Windsor attachment. They may need lots of stuff. And they don't want praise in public. And then you've got certain receptionists or you've got certain support staff that want care for the team and they want nice biscuits. I did a conference yesterday, and one of the questions that got asked was, what would make our business work better? And I promise you, the top of the list was fresh coffee and nice biscuits.
Yeah, chocolate hobnobs.
Well, in your case, if you know Peter Kay, dunk me. 1, 2, dunk me.
It's very interesting you say that, Nigel, because when we buy the tea biscuits and we say to people, get a canvas and get a selection of biscuits, so because people like different biscuits, don't they? Some people do like a rich
but that's
some
the whole
like
point.
Yeah, definitely.
People want a selection. Okay, I have an accountant friend who has a drinks menu. Okay, and on his drinks menu is tea, coffee, and champagne. No one ever asks for the champagne, but he also makes sure that when they leave, there's a car parking space with their name on. They know when people are coming. Imagine every dentist that had car parking facilities put a little sign reserved for Mr. John Smith.
Yeah, well, it's like when you go to a hotel, isn't it? And there's something that says, "Thank you, welcome, Mr. Strevens." You're like, "Ooh."
Yeah. But they knew in advance. It's not that often that someone walks into a dental practice and they get an appointment there and then. Now, there'll be a few people on here saying, no, we do this a lot. It doesn't happen generally. So you've got to notice there should be a card welcoming them because they are a celebrity, but more importantly, they're £250,000 of fee income.
Mm.
So I want everyone here to start thinking, if they're £250,000, why aren't you treating them like that type of service?
Everyone should go to buy a Ferrari, shouldn't they, and go and experience buying a Ferrari.
Yeah, but
see how they treat you.
Yeah, but you see what's really interesting what you just said here? Are you aware you don't ever see Ferrari and Lamborghinis being advertised on TV?
Yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah.
Do you know why?
No, probably
Because
don't need to.
Because they're not watching TV.
Yeah, true. Go where the eyes are.
The concept is we're marketing to the right people in the right language. So when I work with clients, I will always ask them two quick questions, regardless of when I start, what time am I finishing? Regardless of when I start, what time am I finishing? And would you like X being done? And what would you like people to leave with when I finished? That's what I ask. And guess what happens? I tell people, if I'm finishing at 1 o'clock, you can ladle soup at 12:59. I have to allow a minute for the standing ovation, but I tell people, ladle the soup. I won't ever go over that time because food is more important to delegates than me. But there are certain speakers out there who think they're more important. So think about this when you are running your practice and an A-type client, who is what I call a classic lion, has a 9 o'clock appointment. Are you aware that if you see them at 9 o'clock, that's late? On time is late to A-style clients who are classic lions. They want to be seated with their mouth open at 9 o'clock. Not maybe the dentist is coming out or a receptionist is bringing the patient in at 9 o'clock. That's late. Someone like me who's a classic monkey, I can't remember what time the appointment was, so I'm only too happy someone's seeing me. And it's not that I'm that stupid, but it's no big deal if I'm 5-10 minutes late. But there's a group of people that want to be seen on time, and on time is 1 minute early. So that's why I was getting really anxious before I was coming on, because I've been on here since 20 to 7. And the reason was because I got asked, would I be on for 10 to 7? But I'm always a few minutes early to make sure in case there's any issues. But nobody loved me and everyone ignored me, and I'm desperately trying to get on. But I wanted, and then the reason I emailed everyone was because I wanted you to know I was here. But that's just my style because that's being professional. So everyone who's listening right now, really ask yourself, do you value people's time or are you valuing your own time? Because when people keep me waiting and they've sent me an email and then they've sent me another text to confirm the appointment, you know the time. And there's always the excuse, yeah, but the last patient, there was some issues. Then build that into your time. There's two things in life for every dentist. There's either reasons or results. That's all there is. I mean, you'd have to agree with this, Andy. People will have phenomenal reasons why they're behind.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
Always. I think the thing you said tonight, Nigel, that reframing every patient as being worth £250,000 will, I hope, make everyone just pause and think, how are we treating each person, given the lifetime value of that patient through their treatment, their friends, their family, their referrals? Would we do things differently?
Well, Andy, are you married, Andy?
I am, yes.
Do you have kids?
I do.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Got one brother.
Do they have a child?
They do. My brother's got 2 children.
Okay. So you've got an extended family and they come over for Sunday lunch and you say, I had a most unbelievable treatment by my dentist. You're not going to be saying that. What you will be saying is, I had shite service from my dentist.
Yeah.
When was the last time anyone listening here was told by somebody they had the most amazing podiatrist? My gynecologist was unbelievable. I mean, Chris is going, yes, it was for me, the gynecologist, but we don't do that. And some of it is because we're British, and some of it is that we don't like to share good stuff. But we're a nation that loves to share bad stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So let me go back a step if I can. Because the phrase that I'm known for all over the world is one thing, which says, if you're in the room, be in the room. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right now, do you think I'm in the room with you guys?
Yeah.
100%. You're not distracted. You're present. You're engaged. Yeah,
And
sure.
you can't see, but you're on two different screens. I've got two screens exactly the same. So hold on, I'm on that screen, but I can't. I'm not that clever to turn it. But I don't want emails popping up while I'm talking to you. That's what most people do with their second screen. So both my screens are the same. My kids go crazy with me. They go, "Why are you so stupid?" It's because I know I've got the brain of a monkey. I'd be distracted all the time.
Yeah, you flip.
When a patient walks into your practice, they are the most important people in your life. So I am 39 years married, happily 4, but I would say that. I've got 2 amazing children, 4 amazing grandchildren, and right now, I don't care about them. And the reason is because the 2 of you and the 20 participants are the most important people in my life. And I can't see them. But imagine in the middle of me talking to you, I went, just give me 1 second. No, that's okay. I don't need it. How would you feel? How would you feel in the middle of the webinar if I just said, just give me 1 second? Seriously, how would you feel?
We start buying you Bourneville and sending you champagne.
Yeah, but what you'd actually be thinking, but what you'd be thinking is, I don't care.
Yeah, you're not interested.
But it's worse than that, because imagine if I then do this. No, it's okay. What I'm really saying to you is, you're lucky that's not important. So it's even worse.
Yeah. Because if it was,
If it was, I'd take it. And dentists and staff in practices do this all the time. I've had a dentist with his hand in my mouth talking about his football match that he's going to see that evening.
Yeah.
I've got the whatever they're called, one side, and I can hear someone going amalgam 4L, 4L. And then it's on his phone.
Yeah.
I'm sure he thought it was important, but in that moment in time, my value and my self-esteem just gone shot. Because what I hear is he doesn't love me anymore.
Yeah, he's not interested.
Yeah. And when people aren't interested in you, all I need to do is hear someone else has got a great dentist and I'm off. Because I have no loyalty anymore. I've got loyalty whilst they're giving me at least what I've asked for and more. But I promise you, I mean, have either of you ever flown Ryanair?
Thankfully, not for a while.
No, he's never done Ryanair. No.
Okay, people clap when the plane lands. I think that's a guarantee, isn't it?
We survived. We survived.
Is that what it's supposed to do? Yeah.
I've paid my money. They've got me there. People go, unbelievable. But that's
it
like
cost me £8 and I'm alive.
Yeah, that's like coming out of a dental practice and going, they did my filling. That's what we expected. And I don't know how many people who are listening here are private dentists. I'm going to presume most of them are. It's not cheap, but you're offering a phenomenal service, but that's only what I'm paying for. What are you giving me over and above what you said you'd do? And are you making me feel loved, nurtured? And I joke on this, are you giving me Cadbury's chocolate? Most dentists are going to go, no, you shouldn't be eating it. And and just for the record, most of these bars have still got the chocolate in, you'll be pleased to hear. But what I'm saying to you all is, please recognise that when you're in the room with your patient, they are the most important person. And if we could ask the participants to really be honest here, how often do their minds drift and they're not in the room?
I think if we're honest, I think lots of people, none of us are as present as we'd love to be, as much as we'd like to be.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, 50% of staff are not in the room 65% of the time.
Wow.
Just think about those numbers. It's just mad. And it's at that moment when a patient rings up or a patient comes out of the practice. So it comes out of the surgical room and wants to speak to the receptionist, and the two of them are talking, or they're on their phone to a friend, or they're making coffee. And don't get me wrong, I know there's lots of jobs people need to do, but when I walk into a dentist and I know it's costing me a three-figure sum, I want to be treated like royalty.
So against those stats in Nigel, 50% of people, not in the room. What are the tactics to engage with those people in a way? You know, we alluded in the intro that you've done an off with your personality assessment. Is that a way, if we understand those people better, does it mean that we can then communicate them in a language they understand?
Let me ask you a question, Andy. Why do people come to work?
See, I've got an advantage because you've asked me this before.
Okay.
And it's to have their needs met.
Is to have their personal needs met. Well done. You remembered one thing after 20 years. I'm impressed here. I promise you now, most dentists do not know the personal needs of their team. And when people aren't getting their personal needs met, that's what they're focusing on. When people are getting their personal needs met, their lives work. Dentistry is one of the few industries where they can't half work from home. You could have a phone service working from home, but you can't have most of the people working from home. They need to be in the practice. But we need to understand they have personal needs. So Amazon orders coming into the practice, the doorbell thing. So if someone rings their doorbell, it comes up on their phone. They need to understand that different personalities have different needs, and it's really, really important that people understand why their staff coming to work and how we're matching their needs to the job they do. So some of my personal needs are not that complicated. I'm going to give you two others, okay? Diet Coke and chocolate, yeah? When I go to a conference, I want to be able to have scrambled eggs on buttered toast in my hotel room, sitting in my underpants, okay? I want to get to a hotel and I want to shower, sit on TV, watch crap TV, having scrambled eggs on buttered toast. I don't care what it costs. That's what I want, okay? How do you think I feel when I get to a room and there's a little box with Diet Coke, Cadbury's chocolate with a note from the conference organizer, and they say, here's just a little treat for you. And then I ring up room service, and even though scrambled eggs on buttered toast isn't on the menu, they say we can do that. How do you think I feel?
$1 million.
Yep. Do you know what I get told though? Not sure the chef can do that. And I normally say, in about 6 hours, you've got breakfast, and there's going to be eggs, and there's going to be toast, and I reckon you've got some milk. I'm happy to come down and make it myself, but I reckon you could do it. But what happens is, it's a bit like the computer says no. It's not a fixed product that we sell in our dental practice. See, I think 99% of dentists could sell another 20% of items if they just expanded their horizons. No one's coming into a dentist and they want their feet checked, okay? They've got some oral issues. Help them. Yeah, but it's not really what I do. Well, then find a way to help them. Have you heard of a shirt company called LL Bean?
Yeah.
You need to get permission to say no for any of your deals.
Wow.
Just think about that. You need permission to say no. Now, they also have something that's really interesting. They have a CFO. Any idea what a CFO is?
Typically, you know, with the chief financial officer, but
Yeah,
I imagine it's not.
No, I knew you were going to go chief fun officer because that's you and I together. No, they have a chief failure officer. They want people to fail fast, but the staff know about it. So if you fail and we mess up, you need to share it with the team, and the person who shares gets a reward. So I may have shared this before, but I've written a number of books, okay? And every book I've written has an ISBN number. We wrote our book and we got the number wrong. Joanne acknowledged it. Well, we had 10,000 printed, so that's on 2 lots. So that's 20,000 labels we had to put in books. But she got a £25 reward for admitting the mistake.
That's nice.
But if someone else makes the same mistake, it's £1,000 to charity. Because that means people haven't learned. And what I'm saying to you and all of our participants and dentists, it's okay to fail as long as we learn from it. It's okay to fail if you fail fast. But often we hold on to a problem for a long time because we've made the mistake. Now, I'm not quite finished, but I don't know if any of the participants have got any questions they want me to answer. But I promise you now, having a team of people who are having their personal needs met, having a team of people who know how to smile. Albert Einstein said, people over the age of 12 are responsible for their faces. Even you, Chris, it's a face only a mother would love, I know. But when you
bless you.
Yeah, but when you smile, and I'm being really serious, you light up. And you're a bit burnt in the face because you've been on holiday. But you know that people who have what I call an RBF?
RBF, what's that?
RBF.
Got it. No.
Andy, you know what it is?
I don't know. What's an RBF, Nigel?
Well, it's a resting BI face, okay?
All right. Yeah.
And
resting face, right? Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to say the second word, but otherwise people start getting offended with me. But when you go into a dentist, what you want to see behind reception is someone with some energy, someone who's pleased to see you, who's excited because we're going to be spending money.
Yeah, £250,000 over a lifetime. Yeah.
Possibly. But what you often get is, have you got an appointment? No, I've just walked down the street and I thought, I want some pain inflicted on me.
I'm just popping in.
I've got nothing else to do for 35 minutes. I thought I'll have a filling.
It's raining outside.
Yeah. No, but genuinely, it's when you go to when you go to a hotel and you've got 2 cases and they say, "Are you checking in?" No, I just like carrying cases all around the world. I don't know if you can see this, but often when I go to a hotel, what's the first thing they ask you for when you check into a hotel?
Your name.
No, they normally ask you for a credit card, yeah?
Oh, your credit card.
Oh, right.
So I had one made up that says, "This is a major credit card." And they'll always say to me, "We will need some other form of identification." So I had printed on the back, "Here is some other form of identification." Because I just want to have some fun with these receptions.
How did they respond to you, Nigel? Did most
what do you think they do? Seriously.
I would hope most of them thought it was funnier because you would hope that they went,
99% think it's very funny. The same as when they say, when I go to a restaurant, have you been to America, either of you?
Yeah.
Do you ever go to a restaurant and they'll ask you what name? Okay.
Yeah.
My name is either hungry or starving. Okay. And I like when they say a party of starving because I just think that's good our people. But it just makes me laugh because I want to have some fun and I want them to have some fun. So you were right. The CFO people in every dental surgery, there should be a CHO, a chief humorist officer, someone who just takes responsibility for lightening the mood for something that's quite a serious thing. My dad's practice was, they had a guy who made lenses. They had someone who dealt with astigmatism. They had someone who did contact lenses. But you weren't going in there because you had nothing else to do. You had a problem with your eyes, and it's a precious item, the same as your teeth. We want the energy to feel like people love us. They want us to be there. But when we leave, was everything phenomenal? Not was everything okay? Yeah. Have you ever been to a restaurant and when they finish the meal, they go, "Was everything okay?" And my reply to that is, I can get shit at home for nothing. I want better than that. And that's the whole point. When you go to a restaurant, you want it to be phenomenal. Because we could eat at home if it wasn't. When I go to a dentist, I know it's going to cost me some money. But I want to feel like I'm $1 million patient.
Yeah.
Not that I'm just troubling somebody and I've got 20 minutes. The last patient was a bit long. I've got to do something else. I don't want to hear that. So my time is nearly up. What I want people to understand are 2 things. You need to be in the room. You need to have some fun. You need to trust your staff. And you need to profile your team and your patients. And when you get good at profiling, you'll know which patients you can wait 5 minutes, which patients you can definitely not allow to wait more than 20 seconds, which people are probably going to bring in their child. The 4 o'clock appointment. I know Bobby hasn't got an appointment, but could you just have a little look at his teeth? The Dolphins always bring in their children. And the elephants think they know more about dentistry because they've read something online. They've read Dentist Weekly. But if you know these people and you can zookeep, that's why I'm known as the chief zookeeper. If you can lead and manage your patients and you can lead and manage your staff, you will have a very happy practice and earn a lot more money. Now, if that's what people want, they should look at the personality assessment tool. They should start thinking about how much time they're not in the room and do they trust their staff. And if you've got patients who are a pain in the ass, fire them tomorrow. They're not going to change. And you'll know you've had clients like this, Andy and Chris, where you've thought they're just not pleasant. I only work with nice people. We've worked together for years now, the three of us together on these, because I quite like you. See, I've got back to light now, okay? But we have a bit of fun.
Yeah,
it's entertaining, isn't it?
Okay, get ready. New word for you. It's entertainment.
Oh, yeah, like that.
Okay. So I want to entertain people and train them at the same time. If you just do entertainment, they've got no value. And if you just train them, it's boring. And that's why most courses don't work. I need to have some fun. I need there to be chocolate on the table, and I need it to finish early. What do you think most conferences are? They're cold. There's not enough toilet breaks. The food is shite, and the speakers talk for too long.
Yeah.
What I did love, Nigel, when you were talking was the thing about fun in dental practices. And I think there's probably a sweet spot to recognise the surgery is a place for the serious clinical stuff. But there probably is more space in dentistry to bring in some humour, light-hearted fun outside of the surgery environment, which actually is a lot of people that work in a dental practice.
You need to take your job seriously and yourselves seriously.
Yeah.
When someone's got their finger in my mouth with a drill, they better be serious. I've had brain surgery twice. Trust me, Joan Greaves, my brain surgeon, I need her to be professional. But she also has some fun with me and says, look, you still know my name, so I haven't affected too much of your brain. And we did find some of it. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
She told me I've got 16 coils, okay? And I said, does that mean I can't get pregnant? She thought that was funny. But you just see how we've changed the energy in the room just by lightening it up on a very serious subject.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got hundreds of patients who are lifetime patients if you want them to be. We've got staff that cost a lot to onboard that you're not looking after. And some of your staff should go because they're not adding energy and money to the practice. But they've always been there, so we're going to keep Jane. I did this the other week, and someone said, my name is Jane. I went, okay, not you personally, but Janes have got to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing me to share.
No, Nigel, it has.
It's always excellent.
If there's an opportunity, we'll take an opportunity for some questions. We've got one just coming from Afif. Afif says, you've explained very well that there are people who are archetypal types and animals. How do you get good at tailoring your approach to each person? Is it purely a matter of experience? Also, how many similarities are there between your previous coaching days and coaching dentists?
Okay, two different questions here. So coaching is coaching. Dentists aren't any different, okay? I know they think I have grand delusions of uniqueness, but dentists are just dentists. You serve people, you take money from them, and dentists have got to be good salespeople who happen to be great professionals. The first question is really great question. The better you are at listening, the easier it is to profile people. And if you look at the word listen and silent, there's the same letters. That's a bit deep, isn't it, for you, Chris? There.
Yeah.
But listen and silent. So when your patients are talking to you, people who start giving you a whole life story are normally monkeys stroke dolphins. People who ask technical questions like the amalgam lower 5, are you sure the bite is not overdoing it? And because I have a bite issue with one of my teeth. That's because I got told it. I wouldn't know I had a bite issue. I just thought I had a funny tooth. And the lions, though, they're not going to ask many questions. They just want the best professional, and I want the principal dentist to sort me out. And I've got 11 minutes. Can you do it? I promise you now, by listening to your patients and looking at the personality assessment tool, I promise you, within days, you'll be able to identify 90% of your clients, your patients. There'll always be one that's a real chameleon, that is a mixture. But I've done this now for 3.5 million people, and I've only met 4 or 5 what I call true chameleons. My wife is a massive elephant. I mean, she's a size 12, but she's a massive elephant. She needs detail. She needs a process. I'm a monkey. I just want to get in, get out, and have a bit of fun, and hopefully they don't hurt me too much. So the more you listen, the better you become at profiling. Listen more, speak less, have fun.
Brilliant. Have you got another question, Nigel? So go on, Chris. Go on. You get it up.
Yeah, no. So it's from Nisha. It says, "How do you encourage your team to talk about failures?"
You pay them. Because what you're doing is you're saying, if you mess up, we're going to find out at some level. The quicker you tell us, the quicker there's no guilt, and we're going to give you £25, or we're going to give you a free hairdressing voucher or an Amazon voucher. You want to reward people in the moment. So if you mess up, just tell us. Because we
taking away the shame, aren't you? Taking away the shame and hiding it. Yeah.
But the worst thing is when someone says these words. I made that mistake as well last week. Now 2 of us are stupid. We're okay with one person messing up, because I promise you now, there is no perfect practice in the world. There are some excellent practices, but there is no perfect practice, which means literally every day you're underselling, you're overpromising, you're not achieving some of your targets, you're not following through in every system. Every practice in the world. They could do 5% more, sell 5% more, retain 5% more of their patients. Imagine every person retained every one of their clients for a year and they didn't lose any patients. They wouldn't have to go to many seminars. They go on holiday more often.
Yeah.
But we're going on seminars, how to get more patients. Just keep the ones you've got.
Yeah, so true that. Yeah, so true.
And
stop having to replace them. Yeah.
Retention of patients is cheap. Finding new patients and onboarding them and then doing the whole history. Who can be asked?
Just going back to the personality assessment side of things, Nigel, Afee's got a follow-up question saying, would you say that these profiles help you in your day-to-day life as well as in practice?
Okay.
I guess when you're just dealing with people generally.
So, Andy, have you got 1 or 2 children?
I've actually got 4.
Okay. Your first child is much more lion elephant, okay? And your second child is much more monkey dolphin. Your first child was a bit like the Lion King. This person arrived, and if they fell over, we had the ambulance, the SAS coming. The second child fell over, he just eats shit. There's no videos of the second child, okay? 4th child thinks they're adopted. Okay. Profiling is a game changer, because when you know your partner, so I said to you, my wife's a massive elephant. I know she needs detail. She needs data. She knows I'm finishing this webinar in about 3 minutes. I promise you, dinner will be on the table in 4 minutes, and she's going to be putting her head around the corner saying, I thought you said you were finishing at 8. I don't know if that's what I said. I have no idea, because I'm a monkey. Okay. The more you can understand other people's personal needs and what they need, the way your life changes.
It's a life skill.
It's not complicated, but it's a game changer when one of your staff comes in late, who's never been in late before. There's something personal going on in their lives. In a way, so yesterday, in the middle of my seminar, I watched this girl look at her phone. Now, bear in mind, it was 3:30, okay? And she was quite young, okay? It was 3:30. What do you think I did when I saw her run out of the room?
I don't know.
I let her go, bearing in mind I don't normally have
Oh,
phones in the room. And when she came back, I said, "Is your child okay?"
Yes, it's
She went, "How do you know?" I said, "You were probably either the kid's been picked up or the kid hasn't been picked up." She came up to me in the break and said, "You're the first one who's ever taken an interest in my child."
Wow.
She's now, I mean, she's already gone online, bought some of my books and all this. I wasn't doing it for any of that. I didn't even know who she was. But at 3:30, there's an issue for people. For mums who've got kids, I'm not being chauvinistic here, but mums care about their kids more than dads. It's kind of important. I've forgotten the name of my children, but mums don't. But at 3:30, every working mum wants to know their kids out of school.
Very true. Very true.
So the personality profiling is knowing the people you've got. What are some of their wants? What are some of their demands? You know, I don't know how old your kids are, Andy, but there's school sports day going to be like this week or last week.
Yeah, thankfully mine are way beyond that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I've now got 4 grandsons, okay, who are the love of my life. And last week, 2 little people came into my room when I'm doing a webinar, naked, asking for strawberries, okay?
Gold, absolute gold.
Yeah, but that's the point. 20 years ago, I'd have been devastated and thought that wasn't professional. Instead of berating them, they just know Papa's going to help. My clients loved it that I got up and said, give me a minute, I just need to get strawberries organised for these 2 little bottoms that were leaving the room. But that's because my clients understand me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that in a normal sense, but my clients know I've got 4 grandsons who are a bit mad. They know I'm a bit nuts. If you see my office, there's monkeys and chocolate and there's animals. And if I go that way, I can't know, I'm on that screen. If I go that way, you'll see the rest of the zoo. So my clients know I'm a bit nuts. They do.
Yeah.
But I work with nice people who understand me, who help.
But also, you sack the ones that don't understand you, don't you?
We de-hire 2 clients every year. You just made it this year, Andy, but that's okay. We de-hire 2 clients every single year because we don't have fun with them.
Yeah.
And I think life is too short.
Yeah,
absolutely. Not Nigel, I'm very conscious you have an elephant of a wife, if you'd excuse the phrase. Your dinner is soon going to be going cold. We should thank you for your time and excuse you so you can enjoy the rest of your evening.
If there's any other questions, please ask. The personality assessment tool, because we love you two, we're doing it at a massive discount because we want more dentists to really understand their patients. And I promise you, when you understand your patients, your life and business changes.
Transformation.
Yeah. No, brilliant, Nigel. You're entertaining as ever. Thank you for bearing with us with our technical glitch in the morning.
I'll see you next year.
That'd be wonderful.
And we'll go one step beyond.
I love another, yet another one word. You know those words you did? Opportunity is nowhere. We've had others, and now I like listen and silent. I love that one.
Yeah,
he's such an easy man to please.
I'm very simple. Very simple. That's brilliant.
Lovely. Thank you very much indeed, Nigel.
Cheers, Nigel.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, all.